welcome back, sir.
How are you?
Good. How was your weekend?
It was good. It was, we watched a little bit of the Super Bowl. I watched Kendrick.
Super Bowl!
Hey.
Yay!
Blowout.
I was completely wrong.
Did you guess Chiefs?
Completely wrong. I thought the Chiefs were going to murk the Philadelphia Phillies. I don't know. They just had, like, a certain swag about them.
Yeah.
The whole thing with, like, the refs are taking over, and I was just like, they're just going to give them their three-peat just so that they could say, he beat Tom Brady, because, Tom Brady never won 3 in a row.
Okay.
And all this kind of, this is the new generation. We don't need old people.
Right.
We need new people.
Yeah.
I was completely wrong.
Tommy never won 3 in a row?
Tommy never won 3 in a row.
But the Green Bay Packers did at some point. I think I saw. Did they? Were they the last or no?
Technically, no, because the first one they won, it was still like NFC.
Oh.
And then the first Super Bowl they won, the second Super Bowl they won. So 3 sort of championship bananas.
Okay.
But not 3 official Super Bowls in a row. This would have been the one.
Okay.
And wasn't meant to be, man. They got murked.
Murdered.
I couldn't believe it. I
haven't watched football all year, and I was like, oh, this team is not doing great at all.
I was very surprised. There was like a swagger, like I said, like Travis Kelce showed up to the stadium and like some kind of like Willy Wonka 70s pimp thing going.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Mahomes showed up in like an all green suit.
Okay.
Eagle green.
Wow.
Boo.
Yeah.
It was not meant to be. He got annihilated pretty quick, and which is good because it's one of these things where I think it's healthy to have sort of these generational talents that aren't quite as good as the generation before. Like Kobe was amazing, not quite as good as Michael Jordan.
Right.
LeBron's amazing, but maybe not quite as good as Kobe.
Right.
And like this guy's just not quite as good. And I think it gives us something aspirational with all our internet and AI.
Yes.
You can't throw that good like old people.
Right.
So I like that.
Yeah. I always go back to Jordan because that was my time. But I mean, even though it's basketball, you're just like 6 in a row. 6? Come on.
Never went to a game 7 either.
Never. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And you can tell Tom Brady was kind of, I think the real winner of the Super Bowl was Tom Brady. Yeah. Because they were just like, well, because here's the thing. Like when it was like 24-0.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this could be the double whammy because Tom Brady was down by 23 points.
Right.
He had never won 3 in a row. So I was like, this is going to be the Mahomes moment. Not only is he going to get his 3rd in a row,
right,
but he's going to beat Tom's comeback by 1 point.
Yeah.
No, they lost by like 20.
Yeah, it was not good.
And Tom Brady was like, hey, these things happen. Sometimes you got to try your best. I'm sure he'll come back next year.
Yeah.
And he'll just do better. But for now, I think everybody's just really happy. And you could tell he was just inside. He was probably like, yes, bro, keep that goat talk quiet.
Yeah.
Mahomie.
Can't be done. Nobody's going to be roasting you.
Yeah. But we do need to get rid of old people. That was one of the things I did notice about the Super Bowl. I think... there was this like Harry Met Sally commercial.
Yes.
And you got, just old Billy Crystal and like old Sally something. What's her name? She looks like Tom Petty before he died.
Ryan.
Meg Ryan. It's like, dude, just let old people be old. Don't put them in young things. And then you have like Terry Bradshaw.
Right.
Having like a cataract seizure trying to ask people. It's like, what else did you think about that? It's like, go put that old man to bed, dude. Get a young guy.
Right.
Come in here to ask young questions. And it's just like a bunch of old people like shaking and like not really with it and just kind of like talking over this stuff. You could tell they had a couple in them too. Right. I'm just like, dude, get them out of the commercials. Get them out of the booth. Let's bring the young people in. Nobody really cares, dude. Right. It's like these people they belong, in bed or like medicated.
In bed. Now it makes me feel like I'm old. What did you think of Kendrick?
I thought Kendrick was great, but I thought there was a part of me, being perfectly frank, that I was like, this I'm blacker than everybody stuff is kind of a little bit passe. You know what I mean? Like he's the voice of the culture, yes. He's blacker than Black Yo, yes. Right. But that's kind of like a fringe group of the world. Like I was up like he opened up with an unreleased song. Yeah. Crushing it. Then he's doing his thing, crushing it. And then he has the American flag visuals, beautiful.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't know half these songs.
Yeah.
I know they don't know half these songs.
Right.
Then you got like Serena Williams, like a 42-year-old
was
mom,
that
like
her?
crip walking. And then it's just like, and then every song was like kind of like in some subtle way about Drake.
Right.
Like in every lyric, he's just like, you can't be authentic. You can't be me. I'm this.
Right.
I'm the culture. I'm this. They don't treat us right.
Right.
And I was just like, look, man, like, you're right. You
Yeah.
got a platform and milk it, bro. And he realized it because he had the Samuel L. Jackson come out as Uncle Sam.
Right.
You guys better not do. Oh, no.
Yeah,
and then it
yeah.
was like, look, like, I got to, give it to the culture, whatever. But there's a part of me that was like, let's make this the final lap for Kendrick and
Yeah.
his I Hate Drake thing.
I hate Drake.
Either get over it.
Yeah.
Stop putting out stuff like this. The album wasn't really that good. I didn't think
Yeah.
GNX was that good.
Yeah.
I don't really know that people even cared about it. So I felt like it was kind of more, people hated Drake so much that they wanted to see him do his victory lap on Drake. Biggest
Right.
stage in the world. He does the pedo song.
Yeah.
He looks at the camera. At the end, it says game over in lights. And I'm like, you did it, man.
Okay.
You finally beat
Yeah.
Drake.
Right.
Canadian billionaire Drake.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, I had a good time watching it, but I was
Yeah.
like, you're not, this is not the assignment. The assignment is not to be the proletariat in that way.
When I got out of here last time, I had to go work after our last podcast, late night thing, and I drove through the protests, down here, and I thought I was going to get stuck in it, and I almost turned on the Gypsy Kings to like kind of crank it up and make sure they're like, hey, I'm good, guys, whatever, and it got scary. But when I got there, I was in a walled off lot, which is scary, which is nice. I was in Boyle Heights, which is extremely Hispanic area, I think.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to Kendrick while I'm out here because I don't know a lot about him. And yeah, I'm just going to get into it and really see like, okay, what's this guy like? I don't listen to a tremendous amount of hip hop. I love Jay-Z. I think he's the Mike Jordan of recording, as he says.
Hey.
Like he's so good. And I listened to him and I was like, clearly, I understand why he won a Pulitzer. He's a great wordsmith.
Totally.
He's fantastic. I totally get it. Not as much fun to me as Jay-Z. Even when he shits on people, I'm like, I don't really know what that's about. So whatever. So, but also I wanted to watch the Super Bowl and get it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm the old guy here. But like my wife and I were looking at each other and I was like, is he big enough to do the halftime show? Am I that disconnected? Because Prince, I get the biggest
Generation.
star ever. Michael Jackson, I get. But I mean, isn't the Super Bowl sort of reserved for like Coldplay or something? Like something. But I was just like, oh, maybe it's me.
And that's
Is he
the thing.
that big?
I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to say somebody who is of this sort of Tupac, Bob Marley, poet misunderstood, Bob Dylan-y kind of essence.
Right.
They could be on the biggest stage just like all these popular people.
Sure.
Popularity isn't the thing that makes you the biggest star. It is popularity because nobody knew what they were fucking talking about.
Right.
And you have your songs you're not singing.
Yeah.
Like his song is like, oh, yeah, pop it.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, because the rest of the time it's like N-word, shot. And so you're not actually doing your material. You're doing a sort of a censored version of the material.
Right.
I really think there's such a hate for Drake. I think that there are powers that hate Drake so much that they're doing everything they can to try and like be his downfall
because he's sold so many albums. Why are we hating him?
He sold so many albums. He's Canadian. He's egotistical. Like I'm the best.
Yeah.
Plus he like shouted out Kendrick for like beating his wife and like all this other stuff, which may be true. I mean, he hasn't denied it, and whatever. But regardless of all that kind of nonsense, boogity, I just think there's a general element where they're trying to convince the general populace that this is the type of art that should be prevailing all of society.
Right,
and that's not the case. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, it's better that he has his fringe nook. Because then the people who find him and appreciate him really appreciate him.
Sure.
And I think they were just trying to kind of sell it to everybody. I had a good time watching it, but I like looked around. I was like, poor grandma.
Yeah.
She's scared.
Yeah, she doesn't know. She's looking out her window, peeking through the blinds.
Yeah, she's like, are they outside?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe grandmas are cool now. I don't know. But like, a part of me just felt like this was cool, but it was kind of like, we get it, bro.
Yeah.
You don't like Drake? Drake's whatever. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, it was a little too specific. I wondered who they thought their audience was, or maybe the NFL audience has changed or something.
Well, Jay-Z runs Rock Nation, so Jay-Z was the one who actually created. Anytime there's a show for the Super Bowl, Jay-Z's the one who curates.
Oh, he's doing it.
Right. So he's the curator of this, and I think he was probably like, man, fuck Drake. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, the big thing is Lil Wayne is from New Orleans.
Okay.
And I think Lil Wayne may have a broader appeal just because he's older. Like, I think people from the early 2000s who are maybe grandparents now are like, I remember a Millie. I like that song. I danced to it.
Sure.
But this kind of, he's doing brand new music. And I just feel like Jay-Z was probably like, yo, fuck Drake. Let's put Kendrick on there. Make him a star. Put him on the biggest stage in the world so he can shit on Drake.
Right.
And we could say, this is the future. This is the culture.
I see.
And I think everybody agreed, like, no, that wasn't it. I'm glad he did it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, just stop this, bro. Just stop with this Drake shit.
I saw a bunch of Instagram photos of people up in the stands just being like, what? What are we?
No. That's the thing. The videos of people just like, I don't know. You want to go get a beer?
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. But I thought, too, if he's going to do that, have a lot of people come out. A couple of years ago, they did old school hip hop, and it was Snoop and Dre, and like you were like, great 90s jam, but also you got some new guys in there and the whole thing. And this was like real specific. Like if you're in your 20s, this is going to nail you right between the eyes, and if you're not.
And the thing that's so funny is I remember that Super Bowl show where they brought out Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
And they brought out Snoop. And when Eminem came out, that fucking place exploded.
Yeah.
Eminem, 9 out of 10 tracks are killing his mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And it's still something about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the black-white thing. I think like Eminem's not so pro-white that it sort of distances himself from the culture.
Yeah.
And he's not like trying to be black. He has this authenticity.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's this, just out in the music, everybody can dance. And like Kendrick is doing this.
Yeah. Very scary.
It's like it's very intense,
Yeah.
very very lyrical.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't have that kind of appeal that I feel something like the Super Bowl merits.
Right.
I feel like, but I remember when Eminem came out, that place blew up.
Yeah.
And you think about Eminem, like, I literally had a theory that when I was driving in traffic, if you keep your window open, you will hear an Eminem or a Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Okay.
Any hour of any day in LA. Someone is playing the Red Hot Chili Peppers or Eminem somewhere around, right?
Interesting.
And there's this weird kind of, like, it's a staying power. Like, and he's still doing this. I killed my daughter. I fucked my daughter. I killed my daughter. And you're just like, I don't know. For some reason, he sticks around.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because when he came out and how he came out.
Yeah.
But
he connects differently.
Yeah, it connects differently in some way.
He's still about his ex-wife, just nonstop with the thing. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
But people love
here
it.
for
My
it.
wife is a huge fan, too, of it. And I'm like, you can't help it. But he's also goofy and fun and doesn't take himself too seriously in the lyrics. Point. He has taken himself too seriously at, like, the MTV Music Awards. He got pissy.
Sure.
But he does skirt that weird line, but not in a super vanilla icy, let's be super goofball. Yeah. I'm going to really try to do this thing. And maybe he was too early in hip hop. Obviously he wasn't lyrically.
But that's actually a great point. Like, there's this sort of goofiness.
Yeah.
That allows it to be palatable in a way where it's not like I won a Pulitzer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, maybe he could have, but like it's kind of, it's not that energy. And I feel like this was that. But I'm grateful that we got out there because it's a good thing to try. You know, we
Yeah.
have to try new things, just
Yeah.
like doing
Sure.
stand-up. You got to try your joke just in case that's the one that hits.
Right.
This weekend I went to a, what do they call those? Like a flea market.
Okay.
And it was right here in Los Feliz. And I was like, my buddy's like, yeah, there's this flea market right here. You know, we can go people watch. They got food and stuff. And I was like, totally. We'll head over there. And, oh my God, so many hours of material came out of that. You know what I
Amazing.
mean? And I was like, this is amazing. Everything's medium. I'm too big for flea markets. I mean, is this medium? Where's bigger than medium? I'll put you down. Do you have a book that's not medium? Everything's too small, right? I like that jacket. We have no triple X for this fucking jacket.
Get out.
Only medium. Get out. Every store's called only medium.
Flea markets are not for large
Not
people.
for me. It's just I'm too big. Only thing I can fit. I didn't even, like, I was even like looking at like big overcoats. Like, nah, bro, that's medium. I'm like, everything's medium, dude.
Yeah.
Everything's medium.
Right.
So hours of material, great stuff. But like as it's happening, I'm like, wow, this is the most gigantic waste of time in my entire life.
Right.
I'm sitting here, I'm walking around, everybody's young, everybody has colored hair. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Excellent little tarts though, and delicious little pastries. Plus, this guy was selling these candles that are candles that smell like movies.
Okay.
And so this one is called The Godfather because it's like cigar, bourbon, and like I was like, that's a great idea.
That's
I will buy a
amazing.
candle from you. He had one candle based on a movie called I Saw the TV Glow.
Okay.
I Saw the TV Glow is on everybody's top 5 movies of the best movie of the year. I actively hate this fucking movie. As the TV Glow, I think is the biggest waste of fucking time.
Okay.
The Brutalist.
Yeah.
Neck and neck. And they're 1 and 2 for best movies, right? And I saw the candle and I was like, hey, let me smell the As the TV Glow candles. And he goes, this is my last one. And I was like, oh, fucking course.
Yeah.
This shit
Son
movie's going to
of
get
a-
every fucking tweaker to come over here and buy it. The candle smelled delicious, but I couldn't bring myself to
You couldn't do it.
But that idea where out of the pain of like, this was a giant fucking waste, besides the candle and the little pastry. Giant fucking waste. I'm too big. I'm too old. This world's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
And then I come home and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
And that's, oh, medium. That's kind of funny. And I think like the aftermath of it allowed me to say, I gleaned nice little things from this.
Yeah.
And so maybe in its own way, that's sort of like the Kendrick metaphor, where something like that, you go like, maybe it didn't work, but it can glean things from it that might help future shows. And
Speaking of that, a creative process, and I tell my wife this sometimes because she talks about being really bummed about work or not being creative, and she's like, what do you do creatively? And I've developed, for me, when if I'm writing a short story or I'm doing comedy or I'm working on a script or whatever, and I get what I feel like is just I don't know, I think I just get stuck on my own perspective, and I you know, even just in regular life, I'm like, I'm just really bummed. I always wanted to be in LA, so being anywhere else was always like, oh, I have to work this 9 to 5 at Blockbuster Video. Like, what am I doing? So I always had to come up with a perspective, even out of that cult as a kid, growing up, trying to figure out how can something be different? And I will force myself even now I'll take a band that I've never heard of that everybody talks about, and I've just never dug into it, like Black Flag, Fugazi, some band that I'm like, I don't know shit about that band. BTS, the Korean band or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just going to listen to these guys all day and see what it's like. I did that with Kendrick the other night. I'll dig in, sure. Yeah. And I'll force myself to do it. And I'll listen to 10 songs and be like, dog shit. But it immediately gives me some kind of new perspective. The other thing I'll do is I'll go to the library and pick up a book in some genre that I don't give a shit about.
Sure.
You know, romance, something. Right. And just start reading it. And it will immediately make me think of whatever.
Some bit of something that connects.
Yeah, if I really got to dig it out, I'm like, I'll just go and I will force myself to look at something from a different perspective. Go into a store I hate, And I'm like, I wouldn't go to that store if you gave me $50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, today I'll drive there. I'll purposefully walk in and I'll talk to the fucking lady in there.
Yeah, just for the experience.
Yeah.
And I think that that's actually really good. I don't really do it actively, but now it makes sense. It's like there is something about putting yourself in either an uncomfortable or unfamiliar scenario where you can glean these things from it. And you go like, oh, man, just literally like I just had to read a romance novel.
Yeah.
Gay. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of come up with sort of a bit based on just, I don't even know why I wanted to. I don't know why people listen to this. Or I loved it. This was the greatest thing. I'm so into romance novels.
Right. It rarely happens that I love the thing I'm going to see. Almost never. Because I would have discovered that through my own journeys.
100%.
And I'm like, I know I'm going to make a 90-degree turn, truly, and look at this thing. So
I've had a lot of times, though, where I've seen a thing and didn't like the thing. And then I come back around to it years later and I don't understand. And I was actually talking about it this weekend where it was 2 movies in particular. Jackie Brown by Quentin Tarantino and Interstellar by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
And both of those movies, when I first saw them, I was like, get me out of this. Why are we still... End! Please end! I was dying. And I can't leave early because you don't know if the aliens are going to land. And then somebody goes, did you get to the part where the aliens landed? And get the fuck out of our conversation. You got to be in it to win it, right? But I was like, this is just garbling nonsense. People talking. And Interstellar, it's like he's crying over the video. I'm like, bro, are we still here? Right? But then... see it 5 years later, and I was just like, oh my God, I am so embarrassed that I didn't like this.
Right.
You just don't, I don't know if it's the timing.
Right.
Or like you had too many M&Ms or something. But like I recently saw Interstellar, and I was like, they're gonna dock the ship. And I'm blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All in.
Yeah.
And it ends, and I'm just like, no, it's a metaphor. Don't you get it, you dummy?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know, I didn't get it. I'm young.
I'm sorry.
And you learn, I don't know, I learned something about myself through the revisiting of it.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that I'm always fascinated by because I don't know what it shows. Like a growth in taste, a change in taste. Maybe I didn't understand it.
Right.
But I like to have moments like that where I can revisit something because it's like Interstellar is universally praised.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe I was just wrong. And then I go back and I was like, yeah, you were just wrong. Maybe you were tired or something like that. But... and that's why I'm hoping for like The Brutalist. Like years later, I'll go back to it and be like, when that guy got raped, it was awesome. But I don't know. Spoiler alert, that movie sucks. But I don't know. Maybe years from now, I'll understand it better. But as of now, hate it. Gonna stay actively hating it. But then when it does come back around, you go like, oh my God, was I wrong?
Yeah.
Did I change? Am I better now?
I think because of the culty nature of the church I grew up in, and I was so positive and so brainwashed, really, about how life is and how this is definitely going to happen. If you masturbate, this will definitely happen over here. And when all of that stuff, of course. And now, I had to learn at some point, hey, that's not how that's going to happen. And hey, no, let go of that and whatever. And then I was like, oh, I don't know what in the world is real at all. I am much more open to all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I don't know, give it to me. I don't know, maybe I'll like it.
Yeah, try it.
I don't know. Other than food, I'm pretty bad about food. But my wife and I, for instance, I'm extremely liberal. Because I'm a man and I'm not afraid of things that women are physically, that I'm way more open. I'm like, let them use whatever bathroom they fucking want. And she's like, yeah, you can punch them. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that.
There's a great joke about that where they say a guy's afraid she's going to be ugly and a girl's afraid he'll kill her.
Yes.
Like when they go on a first date.
Exactly.
Like you're afraid she'll be fat. I'm afraid he might choke me.
He's going to murder me to death. Yeah, very, very different. Yeah.
But I feel like there is something about, putting yourself out there and experimenting with new things, not necessarily food, but just seeing if a perspective changes or something. It's funny because it's like, how do you feel, not to get too serious banana, but like, do you still have some type of faith, like belief in sort of higher power, universal banana that guides us and motivates in spiritual manners? Or is it like so tainted that...
Well, I think it's so... it's stages, right? And I think it's probably pretty common, not just for me, but people leave the church and then they're angry. And then you go through like an acceptance of, well, there are some good people there. Some of them are smart, whatever. And then you kind of come around with, okay, I don't have to hate those people. I think they were trying to do their best. Some of them were racist. That's not good. Maybe they've learned their way out of it. And you come around into like, okay, now I know all that about my past. What do I do with the information that I have learned, and where do I go from that? And I think it would be irresponsible and silly to be like, I'm 100% positive that God exists, or I'm 100% positive that nothing exists.
Right.
The truth is, both are similar in their closed-mindedness. And so I'm like, I don't know. I've seen some really amazing things. I saw really amazing things in that cult that I would have thought. I remember seeing people that they were like, this guy's demon possessed. And then I got older and I was like, no, he's hammered. He was hammered. And they were trying to heal him, and he's vomiting all over the place.
Jack.
Yeah. And I'm a kid in the corner watching a man that I thought was demon possessed. Now, there's only one thing I've ever seen. And he's the green throw up. And I'm like, this guy, the exorcist, his head's going to spin,
Yeah.
There's only one thing that still as an adult, I can't explain. I don't think about it too much. It doesn't freak me out a whole lot, but I don't know what it is. And I'll tell you real quick. I was at a church camp, which is about 400 people in a huge domed kind of tent. It's very hot. It's August in Indiana. It's like 100 degrees. So a lot of sweat.
Like True Detective.
Yes. Yes. It's very much like that. Without the snake handling, that's what kind of church service. And it's raucous. There's music and it's very loud. And they have an altar call. And people are streaming to the front because the pastor has convinced them this is it. I'm going to count down from 10, and he is giving this countdown. 10, 9. Some of you are not going to make it home tonight. 8. You're turning, you're burning, you can't get out. And he is one of the most fantastic performers I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And people are just like, running to be saved. Like they're jumping off the Titanic. It's amazing.
The Super Bowl.
They get up there and there are pockets of people speaking in tongues, right? This bizarre thing. And there's a bunch of preachers around this one particular guy that got the hands on the head. He's just sweating profusely. And I remember the pastor putting his mic down like that. And I'm standing close enough because I'm watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up watching this kind of stuff. And he leans into the guy's ear and he's shouting something about Jesus, and because that's supposedly you say that and the demon hates it.
Right.
And I can hear this guy saying back to the pastor in like this low, grumbly, sort of growling voice, like, get the fuck away from me, like that.
Right.
And I'm watching as a kid. I'm like 14. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And now I'm thinking maybe he's high, maybe he's drunk. I don't know what's going on. And this is the crazy part. I watched this is back, still wired mics, no lavaliers at this time. This is like 1989. And the pastor has his mic down like this. And the guy starts talking and his voice is amplified. We can hear him like he's on the sound system. Wow. There is nobody around him with a microphone. He's all of a sudden like, and I was like, it still gives me chills. That I can't explain, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just think, somebody had to have a mic. They just didn't know it was on. Yeah. That's the only thing I can explain. And I don't believe in any of that shit.
Sure.
But I've seen crazy stuff. I saw a lady just drop dead. Of course, she just dropped dead. That doesn't freak me out. They didn't bring her back to life. She just died.
I was going to say, now I would be in a cult.
The end of that story is
that kind of got me, actually. That kind of got me.
That honestly, this is so weird. One of the most pivotal parts of my sexual journey as a young man was that lady dying.
Wow.
And the reason that happened is because she's like 70. She comes up to the altar in the middle of service It's very strange. The pastor goes to lay his hand on her. She's obviously sick or something. It was weird. It wasn't an altar call, so it wasn't a time that you're supposed to go up to the front.
Right.
He goes to lay his hand on her. Boom, she dies. She's like very old. All right. So she has a heart attack. She's not feeling well. She dies. All right. That makes sense. You go to church enough, people are going to die. Yeah. You see weird shit. They stopped service, which is amazing. It was always great when something happened because it stopped service early. And you're like, great, we get to go outside and fuck around outside.
I'm trying to get with this chick.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened. That's always what you go out and you kiss a girl for the first time. Yeah. So the ambulance people show up. They clear everybody out, and they say to the kids out in the vestibule, "Hey, parents, we're going to bring her out. She's sort of indecent. They've been shocking her chest. Can we close the kids' eyes out of reverence for this woman?"
Right.
And I'm doing one of these.
Of course. I'm missing this for the world.
Coming out, titties off both sides of the gurney. And I was like, this is the best. My first set of boobs hanging off the side of this gurney on both sides. It was a dead woman's boobs.
Hooked for life.
Boom. Oh, here's the setup. Whoop.
Microphone.
Okay, so this is hilarious. So my son is 21 years old, one of my sons, and he lives in Alabama.
Hey, Alabama, sir.
Not far out of Birmingham, Alabama. It's very fish out of water from him. He lives with my ex-wife, and he cannot stand it. And he's about to move, so it's all good.
Nice.
He has this job. He's a big, tough kid, and he works as a security guard for all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
Right? And so he gets to go Jelly Roll concerts and Cirque du Soleil, whatever. Nice. He's the guy at the front that's like, don't. So he calls me a week ago, and he goes, Dad, doing a Cat Williams show. And I was like, oh, shit. And he's like, I'm super pumped. Love Cat Williams. And I was like, you love Cat Williams? Wow. Why do you love Cat Williams? He's like, I love him in this movie. I love him in this part. Whatever, and he's telling me all this stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you ever see a stand-up?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I would go see a Cat Williams show because I don't understand any of it, and that guy crushes on a level that I do not understand. Mm-hmm. And I watch all of the shows. Sorry if you don't love Cat Williams. I'm not understanding the substance. It's against everything I believe in comedy, and that makes me be like, how is this working?
Sure.
I don't understand how any of this is working. It is so far over or under my, however you want to think of it.
Sure.
So my son goes to the show, and I will say this about my son. I did not know where his threshold was for filth because, to my knowledge, we have not met it yet.
Okay.
He is... like he will say things, and his sisters and me and my wife are like, that you can't say any of that. You can't say any of that to anywhere. We're uncomfortable, and you're in it.
We know you.
So we're gonna FaceTime him, and I want him to tell us about the Cat Williams show.
Okay, let's hope he picks up.
Let's see. I did tell him we were calling. Let's see how it works, if he will. He's never met Jason. This is Sal. Can you see him?
This is live theater.
This is live. And he always is like, I'm not going to pick up thrice, and then he'll call me back. And let's see. Oh, snap. Oh, the forehead. There we go. Hey. Put that camera sideways, fool.
Wait, I got to put on my hat.
Yeah. No, vertical's the new way.
This is it. We've got...
That's how the young do it.
Wait, where's my...
Wait. I love how... What if this was like CBS News and we really needed you to be on top of it?
Authenticity is key. Hey!
This is Jason. Can you see Jason?
Hey!
Hey, Jason.
How are you?
How are you?
Doing well. I heard you have a great story, or at least one that's fish out of water.
So...
I have one question first, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you guys been seeing the person that commented, wow, this actor named Benjamin Madrid seems quite like an interesting character?
Yeah, I love that guy.
Hit the like button.
Yeah.
I wonder who that was.
I don't know.
Hey!
But I appreciate
That's
you.
a hell of a name, Benjamin Madrid.
Yeah, that's right.
The Benjamin?
All your guys' social media platforms.
Thank you. Thanks for doing that. You're the guy liking and subscribing.
You need to like and subscribe. If we get you, we get the youth.
The only person that commented. And I
Aww.
was like, oh, wow, I wonder what these two interesting guests are.
Hey!
I was like,
I appreciate it.
You're like our Baron Trump.
So sit down for a second so I can see you, you freak. Every time I see you, it's just ceiling fan nonsense.
I'm going to check the cameras. Keep talking.
Okay. Okay. I'm really glad that you're prepared. To be clear, I did only call you 4 minutes ahead of time. But so tell us about your job. What do you do for a job, Sal?
I work as a customer service or security guard.
A customer service security guard.
What's customer service? You take tickets too? Oh, you take tickets.
I search people's bags and then help them get to their seats and then basically keep bad people out of a stadium.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, good. So you called me and you went to do the Cat Williams show. And did you love Cat Williams before you went to see him? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I did. I was really disappointed.
Really?
Yeah. I was.
Wow.
Really bad. He's one of the best written characters ever. I think he was in GTA 4 in the comedy club, and I saw him in the video game right before I went and saw his show. And I just expected it to be like creative, well-written comedy, and it was unbelievably the opposite.
Well, you're in the darkness. I cannot see you at all. What has happened? Was that on purpose?
Do I have to show my face?
Yes. Let us see you, fool.
Sorry. How's that fine?
So tell me. So Cat Williams comes out. Tell me. Did he have openers?
Yeah, he had like 5 or 6 people.
Okay, and how were they?
Not very funny.
Okay. What? Do you remember their names?
I'm not a hater. I understand that it's an art form. But
yes. Okay, so tell me what was so bad about Cat?
I don't know if I should put my face on the camera.
Yeah, you should.
Cat Williams, we were in Birmingham, Alabama, and it was just more the comedic timing wasn't the same that I expected it to be. I expected it to be a little bit more well written and not so much vagina talk. And penis and vagina for 2 hours and
he never
mama.
There's no way he said penis and vagina. What did he really say?
No, he said pussy.
All right, so a lot of pussy. Tell me about the people in the crowd. Are they loving it?
Yeah. There's definitely some EBT people.
Did you get anybody? Did Tommy Davidson open at all?
A couple people from Baltimore is all.
Okay, because Tommy Davidson is one of my favorites, and he opens up for Cat Williams sometimes, and he's kind of not the pussy bop bop. But
one of them put his mic up to his wiener and then started humping the stage.
Okay.
I was watching, and I was like, "Oh, this is uncomfortable." This is supposed to be an art form.
Tell me about the girls that came up to the stage. Did you say Cat had ladies come up to the stage?
Yeah, they were not classy, respectful women. They were somebody's baby mama. And they had been twice divorced with 3 different children with 3 different men.
Wow.
And it was definitely an interesting crowd. And then the women he'd be like, "Hey, beautiful women," and then they'd run up to the front row to see him. And I don't understand the class of the lady that is attracted to him. And
you're being very nice about it. You were not nice when you talked to me about it.
Yes.
So these what were they? Larger?
Beautiful, larger, southern built, thick women would run up to the stage.
Okay.
And they'd be like, "Cat Williams." And then
did he call them out? Why were they coming up to the stage?
He went up to this one white lady and pulled her right out the crowd. Had her say some completely out-of-pocket shit to another human being.
No.
Out of curiosity, do you normally, like you saw Cat Williams sort of in movies and stuff, have you ever seen his stand-up?
I have seen clips of his stand-up, but this is my first time in person seeing his stand-up, so.
Okay. So you have seen, like, clips of his stand-up, but you never watched sort of a beginning-to-end Cat Williams special?
I don't think so. Not a special. I've seen, I've probably watched useless amounts of just videos and stuff about him and comedy things. I mean, sure, it's just as any other fan, but
Yeah, did you watch the Shay Shay one where he does Club Shay Shay interview?
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, the Shannon Sharp. That was brilliant.
He talked about that with him, and he lost friends with 50 Cent and Jay-Z, the pedo. And
Pedos are in.
yeah, apparently it's a trend. He talked about Dave Chappelle being a fake friend. And,
At this show?
all that.
He called out Chappelle at this show?
Oh, hell yeah, he did. He called him right out. Yep. Wow. Like, Dave Chappelle used to be my friend, and then Hollywood got in the way, and now Hollywood has ruined a lot of my friends for me, so I'm solo dolo, is the way that he described it. And, yeah.
Who else?
It was definitely an interesting...
I was gonna say the age range. Would you say it was more older people or younger people?
MILFs and GILFs. Yoga pants.
MILFs and GILFs.
That's the name of our
Changing the
podcast.
podcast. Oh my goodness.
There was some older, attractive women.
Okay.
And then I was definitely into that vibe. That was fun. And then there's some grandmas.
Work the suit. Work the
There's
suit.
a lot of 40-year-old, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Okay.
Old people.
Wow. And tell me about the two people that came up that clearly got scammed.
Oh, yeah. The camera. I felt so bad for him, man. And this is sort of like these older two couple is like a woman and her husband, and they came up to me with a screenshot that they paid $576 for their tickets, for front row tickets.
Oh my god.
And what aggravates me more than anything is that they weren't even clever about the scamming.
Right.
It was so obvious that my grandmother would have been able to tell that it's a fucking scam. And they just sent them screenshots of the pictures. Didn't even send them the tickets. Didn't do anything. And not only that, but it's a fucking zoomed out picture of, like, on somebody's dashboard, the picture of the
Oh, no. And they bought them. So what'd you do? What'd you do?
I was like, listen, you can go to guest services or you can just walk around the back and I'm not going to look.
There you go.
Like,
Way to go, man. Good for you, bro. Karma's up.
Yep.
that's what I said.
Were they a white couple, black couple?
It was a beautiful black couple.
Okay.
That is such a shame, man.
It was about 85% black people and it was about 15% ratchet white women.
Ratchet white woman. Love that.
Wow.
Ratchet has stayed in the vernacular.
Yeah.
Through generations.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Ratchet ass. That's awesome.
All right, dude. Thanks for talking to us. I appreciate you.
May the Lord bless you on this journey.
Yes, and you as well. On to you as well. Good meeting you, man.
God bless, guys.
All right.
Bless.
See you, buddy. Bye.
Blessings.
Bye. Love you.
Hey!
Milfs and Gilfs.
Milfs and Gilfs.
Boom.
Madrids do not
I know,
disappoint.
man. He was really dialing it back yesterday because he was just really giving me the shit yesterday. I was like, God damn, that's harsh.
Yeah, that's kind of harsh, man. I'll tell you, I think it is. Cat Williams is one of those where I think he's in that doesn't care. Remember we were talking about
Sure.
how, like, I don't want to wear makeup when I perform.
Yeah.
Like, Cat Williams does wear a lot of makeup, a lot of,
Yeah,
like, jewelry
yeah.
and stuff. But I think a part of him is also, like, I'm living in the moment.
Yeah.
If I have a great show, it's because the audience was great. If I have a
Yeah.
shit show, it's because you guys weren't giving it to me for me to give it out.
You have to respect it. That's what's so fascinating to me about it is that I'm like, no, this guy is crushing on a level that you just don't see. This is reminds me of like church or something. These people are
100%.
losing their goddamn minds, and there's no substance to this comedy. To me, it's
Sure.
got to be that it's not to me. Because when he's like, you have 3, baby mamas and you're blah, 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 let me hear you, and they lose their shit.
Yep.
That's like church stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That's
it's a lot of call response. I
Yeah.
will say I saw his live Netflix when it was live, and I huddled over laughing.
You loved it.
He has a joke in that is so good. I can't say it, but it is so good. It makes me laugh so hard. And just the way he talks, there's something about the oration of it that I think is sort of good. But it's just like the hour. That's why when he was like, yeah, I watched a ton of clips. I'm like, oh, you must have thought he was the greatest comedian in the history of the
I
world.
know, yeah.
Because in 3-minute blips,
Yeah.
Cat Williams is the alpha and the omega.
Right.
But get into like minute 17. At 23,
Yeah.
you're like, yo.
Yeah, what's happening?
Am I still supposed to be here? Is this for
Yeah.
other people?
Yeah.
But I do respect that he gamed up a little bit and was like, yeah, man, go around, do that.
Yeah.
You know, give
was
him
happy
the
with
benefit
that.
of the doubt. I think that's a good thing to do.
I also got to say I felt a little good that that my son was like too much pussy.
Yeah.
Too much. I was like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
You did hear me when you were 6.
Yeah.
And I was like, too much pussy is not good.
It's gonna ruin you. You're
Yeah.
gonna hate this show.
Too much. It's too much. We don't say pussy every day.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, too much.
That's a great more life parenting lessons from Benjamin Madrid. What do you not do? You don't say pussy every day.
Not that much.
Every day? You say
Yeah.
pussy every day?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. But I will say, on the other hand, his sister, who is his, not his twin, but they're a year apart, he was a surprise. She was not a surprise.
Gotcha.
That matters. But she will not swear. And I'm like, that's fucking weird.
That is a
Because
little
now
weird.
you're 22, and you need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Because if you're not swearing now, what are you, a nun? She lives in New York City. I'm like, what the fuck is
How do
happening?
you live without swearing?
Too much pussy? Not good. Nope. Never saying it?
Never. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a middle ground somewhere.
What are we doing?
In New York doesn't curse.
I'm like, what? You don't curse around Dad? What do you give a shit?
Yeah.
You hear me all the time curse.
Yeah.
My 8-year-old curses from time to time. Not pussy a lot, but sometimes pussy.
That was last week.
Not
you
at
got
the
one
dentist.
last week.
Not at the dentist.
Thank you so much for enjoying the Getting Up podcast. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.